Imagine losing everything: your children, your future, and nearly your sanity. Desperate to rebuild their shattered lives, a grieving couple adopts two seemingly innocent twins from a convent. But behind their angelic smiles lies something far more disturbing. What begins as a second chance at happiness quickly turns into a nightmare filled with religious obsession, terrifying rituals, and secrets that blur the line between faith and sanity. As strange accidents pile up and fear consumes their home, one question remains. Are these children truly innocent, or are they hiding something sinister? This is the chilling story of Tin and Tina. The film opens at a wedding where Lola, a pregnant woman, is marrying Adolfo, the presumed father of her unborn child, in the presence of family and friends. The celebration takes a tragic turn when Lola suddenly experiences heavy bleeding. She is then rushed to the hospital. There, she receives devastating news from the doctor. Her twins couldn't be saved due to serious complications, and she has suffered severe internal damage that will prevent her from having children in the future. In her grief over this profound loss and shattered dreams, Lola finds solace in Adolfo's unwavering support and comforting embrace. 6 months later, Lola remains in a state of depression, often reflecting on the empty cradles that were meant for her children. Concerned for her well-being, Adolfo becomes determined to restore happiness to their lives and considers adoption as a way to fill the void in their home and hearts. However, he faces challenges in persuading Lola to embrace this option. Eventually, she agrees, and they visit a convent where they meet Sister Asuncion. She explains that the institution provides refuge and education for abandoned children while adhering to strict religious principles. As Adolfo listens to Sister Asuncion, Lola is enchanted by the beautiful music being played. To her surprise, she discovers that the talented organists are Tin and Tina, 7-year-old albino twins. During their encounter with Lola, a sudden thunderstorm frightens the children, who interpret it as a sign of God's displeasure. When they learn of Lola's intention to leave the church, they plead with her to take them along. Although Adolfo is hesitant due to the children's peculiarities, Lola feels a deep sympathy for them and ultimately convinces him to adopt the twins. Sister Asuncion's depiction of the convent's religious atmosphere proves accurate. When the siblings express disapproval of a song playing in the car, labeling it as satanic, the couple laughs off the incident and cherishes their time with their new children. Upon arriving home, they introduce the twins to their dog, Cookie, who does not seem to welcome their presence. The couple then shows the twins around their house. Despite her internal conflict, Lola attempts to conceal her discomfort, especially when she observes the children playfully jumping onto cradles that were meant for her children. She maintains her composure and proceeds to prepare dinner. During the meal, Tin and Tina express their gratitude for the adoption by presenting Adolfo with a wooden crown and Lola with a holy rosary necklace believed to ward off evil. While Adolfo responds positively to the gifts, Lola's reaction reveals an underlying dissatisfaction. Before they begin eating, the twins insist that Adolfo lead them in grace, highlighting their commitment to religious practices in their daily lives. Lola's skepticism becomes apparent when she quietly removes her holy necklace before sleeping. The following day, as they engage in conversation, Tin and Tina learn of her inability to conceive. In response, the twins offer her reassurance by expressing their belief in miracles and the boundless possibilities that faith can bring. They also explain that the crosses found among their luggage are intended to be displayed throughout the home as a means of warding off evil. As the siblings begin attending school, they are subjected to bullying by a classmate named Pedro, who mockingly refers to them as children of Dracula. Distressed by this treatment, the children seek comfort from their mother, questioning their own sense of worth. In a moment of vulnerability, Lola chooses to confide in them, revealing her prosthetic leg, the result of injuries sustained in a fire. While Tin and Tina interpret her survival as divine intervention, Lola appears less convinced, having lost her parents in the same tragedy. The following morning, when Lola refrains from saying grace at breakfast, the children question her faith. She acknowledges that belief can at times be difficult to maintain, prompting Tina to offer a glimpse into their own unique relationship with God. On the condition that Lola remains seated regardless of what unfolds. Agreeing without full awareness of the situation, Lola looks on in shock as Tina places a plastic bag over Tin's head. Just before he loses consciousness, the bag is removed, and Tin calmly informs Lola that he has prayed to God on her behalf, confident that his prayer will be answered. Lola later shares her concerns with her husband, Adolfo, regarding the twins' intense religious devotion, though he dismisses it as a natural consequence of their upbringing in a convent. That same evening, during a light-hearted pillow fight with the children, Lola once again finds herself on the receiving end of their alarming behavior. The twins repeat their earlier ritual, using a bag to restrict her breathing while urging her to petition God for her deepest wish. Fortunately, Adolfo intervenes before any serious harm is done. Despite the unsettling nature of the incident, Lola restrains her husband from disciplining the twins, acknowledging that they are young children still in the process of adjusting to their new environment. In turn, Tin and Tina attempt to make amends by offering their mother an apology, albeit with a request for punishment as a form of atonement. In a sudden turn of events, their dog, Cookie, bites Lola on the arm in a moment of frustration, resulting in a bleeding wound. Later that night, the children seize an opportunity to sneak into the couple's bedroom. While Lola and Adolfo are asleep, Tina discreetly takes Lola's medication and mixes it into Cookie's food, rendering the dog unconscious. The twins then conduct a ritual using Bible verses to purify Cookie's soul, believing the dog had sinned by biting Lola. Upon waking, the couple is confronted with a shocking scene. The children are covered in blood, and Tina somberly informs them that Cookie did not regain consciousness. Lola is filled with disbelief and horror as she sees her deceased pet lying on the floor. The twins assert that their intention was solely to purify Cookie's soul, and that they were unaware of the potential consequences of their actions. As the situation escalates, Lola discovers Tin and Tina walking on their knees, using multiple forks to inflict pain upon themselves as a form of self-punishment. Alarmed, she tends to their wounds and attempts to explain that they cannot interpret every biblical passage literally. Lola goes so far as to describe such beliefs as fantasy, suggesting that concepts like angels, the devil, heaven, and hell may not exist in the manner they have been taught. However, the children's strong faith, rooted in 7 years of rigorous religious education, keeps them steadfast in their beliefs. This series of events becomes a breaking point for Lola, who has grown increasingly weary of Tin and Tina's fervent religiosity. In contrast, Adolfo supports the children, perceiving them as innocent and suggesting they require a maternal figure to guide them in understanding right from wrong according to their religious teachings. On Christmas Eve, Lola unexpectedly collapses and is rushed to the hospital. There, she receives astonishing news from her doctor. She is pregnant once again. The same physician who previously informed Lola of her infertility now believes her pregnancy to be a miracle. Back at home, Tin and Tina engage in another religious discussion and express a disturbing thought. What if Lola's pregnancy is a result of their earlier ritual? They ponder whether God might command them to sacrifice the child, just as Jesus was sacrificed for the salvation of others. The following day, Lola and Adolfo attend a church event for their children's school. During the parade, Pedro continues to bully Tin and Tina and also shows disrespect towards the Holy Spirit, which the siblings perceive as blasphemous. Throughout the performance, Lola is preoccupied with the twins' whereabouts, while Pedro's mother is concerned about not being able to locate her son. Lola's anxiety dissipates momentarily when the twins unexpectedly appear from the second story of the church, where they have been playing instruments. However, the situation deteriorates when the church doors are abruptly opened, and a severely injured Pedro collapses to the floor. Suspicious of the twins' possible involvement in Pedro's condition, Lola questions them, but they merely respond that they will pray for him without providing a direct answer. Her doubts intensify when Pedro's mother contacts her, mentioning that other children witnessed Pedro with Tin and Tina shortly before the incident. While she does not directly accuse the twins, she suggests that they may have sought revenge for the bullying. Seeking further insight into Tin and Tina, Lola visits Sister Asuncion to inquire whether the siblings have had any previous disciplinary issues. Instead of addressing Lola's concerns, Sister Asuncion defends the children, describing them as pure and virtuous. In this context, Lola expresses her disbelief in God, citing her feelings of abandonment during the loss of her unborn children. Sister Asuncion responds by explaining that God resides within their hearts and that they need only to seek Him. That night, Lola enters Tin and Tina's room with the intention of taking their Bible. However, she is shocked to discover a disturbing sketch within its pages, depicting the siblings engaged in violent acts, such as slitting the dog's throat and stoning Pedro as punishment for his alleged sins. Convinced of their involvement in Pedro's condition, Lola shares her concerns with Adolfo, but he dismisses them, believing the sketch to be insignificant. In contrast, Lola remains convinced that the children may not be as innocent as they seem, and that they might be distorting biblical teachings to rationalize their troubling behavior. Frustrated by her persistent accusations, he retreats to his room in anger. Taking matters into her own hands, Lola secures the Bible and crucifixes in a briefcase, informing Tin and Tina in a serious tone that they are not permitted to open the box until they are older. She further declares that there will be no religion in the household during this time, and warns that they will be sent back to the convent if they do not comply. The following day, Lola notices her hair falling out and becomes convinced that Tin and Tina have intentionally caused this as a form of punishment. Despite her concerns, Adolfo remains skeptical. A few days later, Lola reaches out to Pedro's mother to inquire about his condition, only to receive the devastating news of his passing. Overwhelmed with emotion, she seeks comfort in Adolfo's embrace, pleading with him not to leave her alone as she is afraid of the twins. However, having to attend to work obligations, he departs. The next morning, Lola wakes up to find herself restrained to her bed by Tin and Tina. Tina attempts to feed her milk, insisting that the unborn child needs nourishment, but Lola suspects it may be poisoned and refuses to drink it. In their desperation to care for their new baby brother, the siblings resort to using a syringe. Fortunately, Lola manages to free herself. She heads to the kitchen. Adolfo arrives to find a distressing scene and is taken aback. Before Lola can explain her actions, her water breaks unexpectedly. The narrative then shifts to the hospital, where Lola has successfully delivered her baby. Adolfo suggests that they should start anew as a family. However, tensions escalate once again when the twins and Adolfo express their desire to have the baby baptized. Lola firmly opposes this, asserting that she wants her child to have the freedom to choose their own religion when they are older. Later on, while Lola becomes distracted while cooking, the twins hide the eggs. This prompts her to go outside to retrieve some from the backyard. As she is away, they then attempt to discuss their plan for baptizing the baby with Adolfo, but he is too absorbed in watching a football game to pay attention. Taking initiative, the twins seize the Bible and the baby, attempting to perform the baptism themselves. Lola arrives just in time to witness this alarming act. She then confronts the twins, swiftly rescuing the baby. In her anger, she chastises the twins and holds Adolfo accountable for his failure to fulfill his responsibilities as a father. Upon realizing his oversight, Adolfo reacts with anger and decides to burn the Bible. Ultimately, the couple makes the difficult decision to send the twins back to the convent. During dinner, Lola grapples with feelings of guilt over their decision, questioning her capabilities as a mother, while Adolfo expresses a desire to move on from the topic. Meanwhile, before bedtime, Tin and Tina attentively listen to Sister Asuncion, who recites biblical verses emphasizing that God cannot be mocked and that individuals will reap what they sow. As the couple returns home from a restaurant outing, two creatures unexpectedly dart across their path, prompting Adolfo to brake in time to avoid a collision. Upon arriving home, the stormy weather contributes to an unsettling atmosphere when Lola discovers the front door ajar and footprints leading into the hallway. Although she assumes they belong to Adolfo, he insists he never left the house. During their conversation, Lola's intention to leave becomes evident as she removes her ring. Acknowledging his past shortcomings as a father, Adolfo reassures her of his commitment to change and protect their family. However, their discussion is interrupted when a storm disrupts the TV antenna, prompting Adolfo to repair it for channel restoration. As he steps out to fix it, Lola, moved by his words, decides to give their marriage another chance. As the night grows increasingly strange, the baby begins to cry before suddenly falling silent. A power surge causes the radio to play poems reminiscent of the tunes Tin and Tina used to dance to. When the power unexpectedly goes out, Lola grabs a flashlight and ventures outside to investigate, only to be confronted with a horrifying sight. Adolfo is engulfed in flames. Before she can intervene, he collapses on the floor, calling out for her help. In a frantic bid to extinguish the fire, Lola realizes it is too late as Adolfo stumbles into the living area, igniting the entire space just as he did with the Bible. Overwhelmed by the tragedy, Lola rushes upstairs in an effort to save her baby from the fire, only to find that the child is missing. With no alternatives left, she turns to God for guidance, attempting a method of wrapping a cloth around her face to perceive his presence. Just as she feels herself losing consciousness, she hears her baby's cries and miraculously discovers him in the twins' room. She quickly retrieves her baby and escapes the burning house, collapsing outside in an unconscious state. The following morning, she awakens in the hospital. While there, Sister Asuncion approaches her, providing reassurance that her baby is safe and unharmed. Tragically, she informs Lola that intense lightning struck the area, leading to Adolfo's untimely death. When Lola inquires about the twins' whereabouts, Sister Asuncion explains that they spent the night at the convent and that she personally awakened them that morning. The narrative then shifts to Adolfo's burial ceremony. Having realized the twins' innocence throughout the ordeal, Lola decided to readopt them, embracing them as her own children once more. This newfound understanding restores her faith in God, symbolizing her surrender and acceptance. The film concludes at this note. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe for more of these recaps.